Hey, Matt here, and welcome to another Mob Street video. Now tonight, I'm with my kids' bikes because that's what this video is going to be about. Now, it might be controversial to some whether or not kids should ride motorcycles, but for me and my family, we enjoy it. So the other night, my family got together and we talked about why we enjoy riding motorcycles and the benefits of kids learning how to ride a motorcycle. Now, this is not just me, this is my wife included. And the very first thing that my wife mentioned was it helps teach them balance. Now, these bikes, obviously, they don't have training wheels on them, so you have to learn how to stay up on two wheels. Now, riding a bike and riding a motorcycle are kind of similar, and it was funny because my daughter, one of my younger daughters, learned how to ride a bike, and within the next couple days, she was riding the dirt bike. So quick transition helps teach balance, and it's a good way to go. So there are a whole bunch of things that we got out of this. I just want to name a few of them for you. First one, like we said, balance. Second is confidence. There's a lot of things that you can learn from riding a motorcycle. How to ride in one, have a machine that is self-propelled, not one that you have to pedal. It's cool. It's fun for a little kid to get on there and twist the throttle and take off. And it's something that, once they learn how to do that, next thing you know, the motorcycle is an open book for them. And that was one of the things that my oldest son mentioned was, I like it because I can go out and I can go exploring. Down here where we live, he can be up in the hills in just, a matter of minutes. Or I can get on the TW, they can get on these, and we can just go out and ride through the hills. We can go, look for whatever. Another thing is, it gets kids outside. I think there's a lot of distractions nowadays, and to be able to go out and ride and just go out and have fun and be outside and get some fresh air is extremely healthy for everybody. When kids learn that at a young age, later on, maybe they'll get a bigger dirt bike, maybe they'll learn how to ride, street bikes. And for me, it's a huge release. I learned how to ride a bike when I was 8 years old. It was the old XL80S from Honda. This is the XR80, had pretty similar engine. I learned that to ride, learned to ride that, and I've been riding for almost 30 years now. And it is just, it helps clear the mind. It helps, just get out and enjoy what's outside, get the fresh air. It's healthy for kids to get out and be outside and be active. And that's the other thing is riding a motorcycle is physical fitness. Now you may think, well, how? But there's constant standing up, down, leaning left, right, holding on to the handlebars. You become part of the machine, and there is a ton of movement in riding a dirt bike. There's movement in riding a motorcycle. And my daughter, when we got her onto this XR, just the other day, afterwards she's like, oh, my back's kind of sore and my shoulders are a little sore, simply because it is physically demanding to go out and buzz around the yard and to stand up, sit down, like I said, lean this way, lean that way, and your arms are constantly pumping, and you're pulling the clutch in and out, you're pulling the brake, you're stepping on. It's constant movement. Now, it may not seem like that when you're just sitting there watching, but when you get on the bike, it's definitely physically demanding. Another thing that we decided the bikes help with is coordination. On a bike, there's a few things that you have to do. You have to make sure you're covering your clutch, you have to make sure you're covering your brake, you have to make sure you're using the throttle correctly, you've got your brake lever, you've got your clutch lever, and these are a whole bunch of different things that are going on. You're listening to the sound of the engine, you're listening to how it feels, you're feeling how it feels, and within that, you are knowing, okay, do I pull in the clutch right now? Do I pull in my brakes? Do I preload my suspension coming into a corner or coming off a jump or whatever it may be? There's a whole bunch of different things that are going on that you have to maintain. And within that, it helps build quicker reflexes. Because if you are out riding the bike, and let's say, my other kids are out riding the bike, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to know what's in front of you. You have to know what's behind you. You have to know what's around the corner. You have to be constantly watching, plus paying attention to everything that's going on with the bike and be able to maintain all that. So they have to have those reflexes enhanced to maintain the bike. So at a younger age, I think that's excellent, because later on in life, if they can learn how to do that with a bike, you are becoming more aware of your surroundings, which in turn is going to help you become a better driver later on, whether it be cars, motorcycles, whatever it may be. If you can learn that at a young age, I think that is definitely going to help you in the long run later on in life. It's just fun to get on a bike. It is a blast to just get on and just be able to cruise around. Go a little bit fast, maybe jump a little bit. My kids have been riding, and you could just see the smiles on their faces. It's almost like a part of them wakes up. And is it because I ride a bike and now my kids ride bikes? It very well could be. But it's something that speaks to the inner kid, and it is a good time. Now, with that being said, it also teaches you to use the proper gear. Helmets, gloves, goggles, boots, pants, jerseys. If you're on a road bike, the proper jackets, the proper protection, the proper helmet, proper gloves, the proper footwear. These are things that you learn because, the bad case that you do go down, you want to be prepared as possible. With that, it can tie over to, hey, you got to wear the proper clothing at work. You're working around machinery, you got to have your hair tied back, you got to have, gloves on, you got to have safety glasses, you got to have steel-toed boots, whatever it may be. Kids are less likely to make a fuss about that if they understand, from a young age, hey, make sure you got the proper gear on. Well, why? Because it's going to save your butt in a situation that causes some serious injury. Heaven forbid it happens, but you are more likely to come out of that situation better if you are wearing the proper gear. So teaching them at a young age, hey, when you get on that bike, you better be putting your helmet on. You better have good shoes on. You better have, the right clothing on, so that if you do go down in the dirt or wherever it may be, you're going to be taken care of. So one of the other things that I think is really important about teaching kids how to ride is it's kind of the old horse analogy that they've been using since way back when. When you get thrown off, you get up, dust yourself off, and you get back on. You don't let it beat you. They will learn that, hey, it doesn't always end up the way we want it to. We might go down around that corner. We might be looking, and next thing you know, your front end goes out on you like it did on the TW on me. Or it sometimes things happen. And if you have the mindset to always get back up, brush yourself off, get back on and try it again, that's something that these kids will be able to carry out throughout their entire life. The last thing that I really want to cover that I think is really important with teaching our children how to ride is we are ensuring our sport's future. My kids, your kids, the kids that are learning how to ride, whether it be at 5 years old or 15 years old, maybe later on in life, they're going to be the ones who are working for Harley-Davidson. They're going to be the ones who are working for Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Indian, Polaris, whatever it may be, because of the fun and the joy that they had when they were a kid. And they want to turn that into a career, whether it be wrenching on them, whether it be, going to school for mechanical engineering, whatever it is. And whatever brand they decide they like, they could be a huge benefit to the motorcycle industry later on down the road. So, just being instilled with a love of motorcycles since I was a kid, I've been privileged enough to be part of the motorcycle industry in many instances, whether it be working, at my local Harley Davidson dealership, whether it be working for one of the largest aftermarket e-retailers there is. I've been able to be a part of that and take what I've learned, with motorcycles and try to incorporate it into that and hopefully make the industry a better place. And for me and my family, we don't do anything crazy. We like to go out and we like to just be up in the hills. We like to putt around. We like to ride. And we enjoy being out on the machines together. It is great family time. It is something that brings us closer together. When I come home and my daughter comes out and says, "Dad, can we go for a ride on the TW?" Or when I get the Harley out and my kids all want to go for a ride around the block. The other day when I had the flag mounted to it, my kids wanted to go ride on the Harley with the flag mounted to the back on the 4th of July and just cruise around town a little bit. It's something that brings us together, which I don't care what anybody says. Building stronger family unity is something that this world is in desperate need of. And this is one way that our family can come together. So it's something that we enjoy doing. And I think, in all honesty, there are some life lessons that kids can learn from riding motorcycles that they can take and use later on. Like I said, it helps them become better motorists. It helps them become aware of their surroundings with coordination, with confidence, with reflexes. There are a ton of benefits for kids learning how to ride motorcycles. And I hope that we can all do it responsibly and we can teach our kids, the importance of safety. These are a great way to have a blast and a great way for kids to grow and experience and learn and do all sorts of things. These bikes can take them all over the place. These are my kids' bikes. We enjoy riding together as a family, my wife included. It's not just me. It's me, my wife, and my four, from my 6-year-old to my almost 11-year-old. They're all riding bikes. And my 4-year-old rides with me and my wife on the TW. So it's something that we all do together. And we absolutely love it. But I'm going to leave it at that. If there are any questions, comments, things that you think, kids can learn from it, put it in the comments below. Let's make this a discussion, something that we can all, communicate with back and forth. So, anyways, please remember, hit like, hit subscribe, follow along, because we have a lot more coming. So, I'm Matt, this is Mob Street, and thanks for watching.
Woohoo! I got that on camera.
Okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Oops. Hey, don't twist the throttle so much. Just kick it. Sweet, I think we got some good footage.